Did you catch this? There's a spoiler. In Lee Child's Jack Reacher book series, protagonist Jack Reacher is defined as a quiet, taciturn man. Reacher said nothing is a phrase that is commonly used in books, to the point that author Andy Martin used it as the title of his book about Child's process of writing the novels. The phrase also got the honor of being used as an episode title on Amazon's Reacher. Child's policy of giving Jack Reacher almost no dialogue works great in a book, but television is a dialogue-driven medium with roots in theater. Without the prose of a novel, dialogue is the key thing in conveying character. So, when showrunner Nick Santora adapted Child's books into Reacher, he knew he had to break Child's rule and let Reacher speak. Prime Video's Jack Reacher is still a man of few words. Reacher works so well because Santora and series star Alan Ritchson were able to cultivate a version of Jack Reacher that still feels taciturn and thoughtful without actually keeping him silent. His direct, earnest, to-the-point dialogue translates Reacher's personality to television better than literal silent reactions ever could. Ritchson perfectly conveys Reacher's reluctance to speak in his body language, so the audience believes he's only talking as much as the situation necessitates. In the portrayal of Reacher, Santora showed a keen understanding of how what works in literature isn't always the best option in television. When we spoke with Santora, he explained the process of writing Reacher's dialogue. He said the key was ensuring Reacher never gets too verbose or wordy. This allowed him to say what he was thinking while still coming off as the natural silent type. Santora said, "Nothing is better for a writer than to figure out how to say something just as good, but in fewer words." On television, Reacher may not be completely silent as often as he is in the books, but he's still a man of few words. Lee Child communicates Reacher's thoughts in prose. In a book, all the personality and atmosphere come primarily from the prose, not the actual dialogue. Prose setting the tone is what makes literature completely unique from a visual medium. In Reacher's books, he actually has a lot to say. It's just not in dialogue. For example, in Killing Floor, the first Reacher novel, when Jack describes his strategy in an ambush, explaining that waiting is what wins the battle, he's essentially delivering a monologue. By making Reacher a first-person narrator, Child can have his cake and eat it too, giving him long monologues without having him actually speak. A lesser showrunner might have translated this narration into voiceover. After all, Reacher's description of his ambush strategy sounds awesome, and technically the voiceover would be his inner thoughts, so it would still be true to the character. But, in the equivalent scene on Reacher, Reacher puts on camouflage and waits in the rain in a scene that is silent except for the score. The show uses visuals to convey everything. Even though Reacher has more dialogue in the book, he comes off just as silent because in key scenes like this he isn't narrating his thoughts. Not having a voiceover is a perfect decision for the medium and the character. Yes, Reacher's badass narration is lost, but instead, the show's incredible action does the talking. As much as repeatedly hitting the beat of Reacher said nothing worked in the novels, it wouldn't have worked in television. The adaptation brilliantly figured out how to convey Reacher's stoicism while still giving him dialogue. The mix of keeping his dialogue short and to the point and putting in plenty of action scenes where he is silent allowed the show to stay true to the character without following Child's approach. Thanks for watching.